What's up everyone, I'm Tara Jones from Pieceful Solutions Riding and Training, and I have today with me my partner Valencia. She's my 8-year-old Morgan mare, and she's going to be helping me with the video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time on how to fit my own designed combination Cavesson. When you receive your combination Cavesson, you will in fact be getting the Cavesson as well as the 15-foot lunge line. My advice first is to undo all your buckles to begin with, because that'll make it a little bit easier once you go to put it on your horse's head. Now for me, I'm constantly using one Cavesson or two Cavessons for a bunch of different training horses, so I'm needing to adjust it every time I put it on a horse. If you're using this for your private everyday horse, you can probably adjust it once and then you're all set. So when we're looking at our combination Cavesson, we have our noseband, which also has buckles on either side. So that gives you more adjustability if your horse has a broader nose. You're gonna have the cheek pieces that run down each side, which are fully adjustable on the left and on the right. And you're also gonna have your throat latch, which goes underneath the horse's where the atlanto-occipital joint is. And then you also have the jowl strap or the jaw strap, the third strap that goes and keeps the cheek pieces away from the horse's eyes. So the easiest way to go about doing this first is to take the two crown pieces and place them over your horse's ears. Then I just go ahead and I place all of my buckles to the back, and I make sure that they're all undone to begin with. So that way I can get a good accurate measurement of exactly where I want to place the noseband. So I want to go about placing the noseband first, because this is your most important piece to the Cavesson. The reasoning behind using a Cavesson is because your Cavesson is going to be able to roll over the nose bone. So that's going to create pinpoint precision. When we're doing our muscle modification lunging, we're worried about our center ring. So I'm going to go ahead and measure V for this, and I'm going to take and she's perfect because she has this white blaze that goes down the center of her nose here. And I'm going to take my thumb and my middle finger, and I'm just gonna go and slide down the bone of her nose on either side until I come to a soft spot. Okay, so that's gonna be where her nasal passage begins, and this is where she's gonna be breathing. So we don't wanna put the noseband below that section. We also don't wanna put it directly on that section. Now, the noseband is a little bit thicker. I did that for actually a great reason. I want the pressure to be able to disperse across the horse's nose in a wider fashion rather than smaller, because I feel that smaller is harsher. So you can see here that the side cheek pieces are going to be the first part that I adjust in order to bring that noseband higher, in order for it to come above her nasal passage. So I'm going to start there, and I'm going to bring that up 2 holes. That was just a lucky guess. And now I'm going to go ahead and run my fingers down her nasal bone one more time. And you can see here is where the soft tissue starts. So we're way above where we need to be, which is much more safe than where we started. So I'm going to go ahead and hook the nose strap. Now, again, this section of the Cavesson, you can undo and adjust from the left, and you can undo and adjust from the right. You turn your nose to the side. I highly suggest that you keep both sides even. Now on certain horses, you'll find that you have to have one side longer than the other because your horse has an odd shaped nose. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go up one more hole on this side, and that's gonna go ahead and make it pretty accurate and pretty even. Now you can see that the noseband rolls slightly over Valencia's nose, and that's where we want to position it. I can still slide my index finger beneath it in the front and in the back, so therefore it's not pinching or too uncomfortable on her nose. So once I have that section, then I'm going to go to my jowl strap, which I'm going to go ahead and tighten there. Now, sometimes I have to go back and I have to readjust. The throat latch is the strap that you want to leave relatively looser. Okay, I usually like to have 2 or 3 fingers in this section of the chin strap. That way it's giving the horse enough room so that they can open the gullet, or when they learn how to bend longitudinally, then it gives them enough room to do so in that area. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to step in front of Valencia, and I'm going to look at the brow band, because the other really important area of our horse's face is right here at the TMJ. So the temporal mandibular joint is where we want to make sure that the horse has clearance in that area, because it can be relatively uncomfortable for the horse if that section of the head or the bridle or Cavesson is touching in that area. I made sure to design this Cavesson so that the brow band can slide up and down in order to adjust for the horse, so that it is not either cutting behind the ear or pushing against the top of their head. So you want to make sure that this is comfortable. So at this point in time, we have our Cavesson fully adjusted. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to let down the cheek pieces one hole, because I'm not crazy about where the jowl strap is sitting. Okay, and if you can see from your angle, it wouldn't be terrible to have her work with the adjustment I had it at, but I'm going to go ahead, and now you can see that this section of the noseband has loosened up, so I can go ahead and tighten it, and now it's right where the top section is resting above the nose, the nasal passage, so I'm able to have a little bit of movement in that section. I could probably even go one step further, tighten it one more notch, and now I can go in and give the jowl strap just a little bit of an adjustment. So you can see here Valencia has nice clearance where her eyes are. The buckles are not getting in the way of the corner of her eye on either side. She has a nice section there where it's very open. The noseband is able to roll across her nose, and it's not too tight or not too loose. She's got the jowl strap positioned underneath, right in front of where the main part of her jaw and cheek are. The throat latch has enough clearance so that when she goes to bend, it's not going to impede or get in her way. The lunge line also has a really nice swivel snap on it. And this is just a very nice, durable brass snap that comes equipped with a 15-foot lunge line. And you can see at the end of the lunge lines, there's a little leather strap. And when you go to hook the lunge line onto the center ring, you bring it through, twist it, and it locks it into place. One of the features I really like is that it swivels, so that when the horse is out on the end of the line, they can move their head freely. The rope is actually a handmade product. It's a nice, thin, durable rope. It's great to be able to coil and loop with your hand. I love the fact that I have this brass swivel snap so that I can hold on to it if I need to go ahead and ask for lateral cervical flexion with my horse's head, and it gives me a nice grip and able to do so. So I can lure the horse's nose forward and out, or I can ask for the flexion to happen left and right. Let's just take one moment and discuss why I use the lunging Cavesson. People ask me a lot if this can be done with a rope halter and a lunge line, and the answer to that is absolutely yes. The problem I have with some of the rope halters on the market is that they aren't really snug in this area. And I'm looking for a pinpoint precision, so that my horse can feel that contact every time I ask for something. That's what's going to enable me to get correct lateral cervical flexion, where the maxilla of the horse, which is the upper jaw, is coming over towards me first, so that the mandible, which is the lower jaw, will slightly tilt away from me. When this happens, the atlanto-occipital joint, which is the area between the poll, the highest point of the horse's head, and the atlas, which is C1, will start to have a nice cervical flexion. And what we're trying to get away from is head tilt. So a lot of times when people use a rope halter, unless the horse has been previously schooled, understands not to pull through the halter, understands how to correctly laterally cervically flex left and right, and also understands to step into contact. A lot of what happens with a rope halter is when a person brings the pressure towards them to ask the horse to come closer or to ask for lateral cervical flexion, the pressure will be in a backwards motion. When this happens, you're going to create drag and head tilt. So that's the only reasoning why I don't go to that particular type of device or apparatus, because I feel like I can get a much better result with the combination Cavesson. Now for me, for many years I've done this. I have a great background with this. I learned from one of the best in the country on how to do this, and it's taken me many, many years to be able to come up with a design that I truly love and fits many horses. The problem with some of the Cavessons on the market is the nosebands are really heavy, a lot of them move around, a lot of them were made for horses with extremely small heads, so a lot of the cheek pieces go right into the horse's eye once you start lunging them around. And I really went after a Cavesson because I've used many on the market trying to find something I liked, and I wanted to ensure that I could use this on all different types of horses and that my students would be able to get the same results. That's when I went ahead and I started to design the combination Cavesson. So this is definitely made from a very durable biothane material. The Cavessons are 100% handmade, and so are the lunge lines. So this is sold as a kit. I do not separate it. I like the way that the feel goes with everything from the lightness of the Cavesson all the way to the feel of what it feels like on the lunge line and how to use it. When I teach my muscle modification classes, I only teach this format in a 3-day or a 5-day. I rarely teach this in just a 1-hour lesson or a couple-hour lesson session. And it's important to me that my students understand the anatomy and the physiology that goes behind this method of teaching, and they fully understand the steps that it takes in order to really use a Cavesson effectively. Another option that was a really big deal for me was to be able to understand how to fit the combination Cavesson for different horse types. At the moment, my combination Cavessons come in a horse size, which basically adjusts to all horses, or they come in a yearling size, which is best fitted for horses under the age of 2 or Arabians. So at the moment, I'm still working on a different sizing for hopefully a mini and also for a draft horse. So be sure to catch that. And I'm also working on the muscle modification lunging book, hopefully be due out by the end of summer. So I hope this has helped you understand how to fit the lunging Cavesson a little bit better. And if you're looking to purchase a combination Cavesson, you can only get them through me. You can contact me at tarajones7@yahoo.com, and I'd be happy to hook you up with a combination Cavesson. If any of you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can check out the Cavessons on tarajonestraining.com, or you can check out my website for all of the classes forming for the muscle modification lunging here in Telford, Pennsylvania at my farm, or out of state in different locations. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I'll be sure to catch you on the next one. Have a great day.